Okay, let's deep dive into define. Okay, so now we're going to define the business case. So we're going to talk about these important things: opportunity statement, goal statement, and SMART. These things look easy, but they're not. Okay, opportunity statement have to be a clear description of the problems. Okay, so and it's very easy to get confused when you're starting to explain something. People try to put some kind of fancy words like optimize and maximize and analyze, and all the eyes is that they're out there, and sometimes you don't understand what you're talking about. So what does this team want? What exactly are you going to do? So be try to you know go farther away from complicated, from blurry things. Be specific and clear what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay, so very clear, very specific description of the problem. So this is the opportunity statement, words that everybody can understand, and with specific uh, issues, right? One or two sentences are okay, and be mindful of this trick here, right? There's sometimes people try to say that the lack of something is the problem. Lack of something is not the problem, right? It is about uh, convincing people that that thing is important. Okay, so you're just putting that into the global understanding of the company or the environment or the context. Okay, so you're starting to introduce this. The first thing that you're going to introduce is that opportunity statement, right? So you're talking about the rest of the company and how does this interact with actually the goal or the y variable or the important thing, which is the performance metrics that you're going to talk about. So here we have Sunoco capstone project that I was involved a few years ago. And this is the opportunity statement that we wrote. So Sunoco acquired a packaging firm in Michigan, July 17. The raw materials and finished good inventory of this facility is currently 26% above target levels. Long lead time, demand instability require high inventory on hand, and that excess will result in inefficiency and idle of working capital, as well as increase warehouse space and requirements, right? So you kind of already telling that the project's going to be about, right? What do you guys think? Inventory, right? So, but you're kind of setting the mood, just setting the context, right? So we bought this. The inventory is not very good, but we know that they have some problems with lead time and other stuff, and that inventory not being good impact in warehouse and other costs. So you're convincing people that that inventory high is actually a problem, and that's the objective of the opportunity statement, is saying, okay, this is really a problem that we should tackle. And in this slide, we have another example, but also that sometimes these objective statements could be a little bit misleading. Okay, so we talk about opportunity statement is one thing, that's the context. Now, objective statement is what actually are you going to do? The same rules apply. Be simple, be clear, be direct, and specific in what are you talking about, right? You do what you don't want is people thinking that you're going to do something and you're going to do something totally different, and you don't only realize it, a few months later on. So the objective statement also have to be clear and direct and tell you exactly what you want to do and how do you want to do it. So you can take a look at this. I put some examples. It's another actually Sunoco. Do you know the Sunoco packaging company, the largest company in South Carolina, $5 billion company? There was a project about polyfiber supply chain improvement, and initially they wrote the goal as this: enable sales growth by reducing and controlling inventory and increasing plant capacity through production planning. Very beautiful, right? Gorgeous objective, but it's basically everything. Was that capacity and planning and sales, and what exactly I'm going to save the company? What exactly are we going to do? So that was too vague, right? Too many things touched, too vague. So we worked with the company to actually rewrite that objective and got to that second one, which is determine the optimal level of inventory. So this is the same project, okay? This is the goal that the company gave us, And again, there was a capstone consultant project. After we worked with them for a week, we said, what you actually want is to determine the optimal level of inventory, at least 10 days less than the current, of polyfiber reels, and that's the product, at a plant and service centers without impacting the service level, right? So it's not only reducing inventory. Reducing inventory is easy. Just get rid of inventory, right? Sell this thing, scrap this thing, and we're good. But then next week, you're going to need products and you don't have it. So to fix inventory, you need to fix the process, right? And to fix the process, I'm not only going to get rid of the inventory, but I need to have a service level that also going to be high. And the only reason we didn't put the current state was because they didn't know the current state, right? So say, okay, let's say they're going to reduce by 10 days. It should be good, because they have no idea what the current state was, and that's already tells us some things about the company. Anyway, so and distribution centers. So we found out there was distribution centers there that, so other parts of the supply chain. So in this one, it doesn't have big words, but it actually tells us exactly what we want to do. That's exactly what you want. And then there were some deliverables for that project as well, that we kind of were able to highlight. Oh, these are the things that you actually need. Future state inventory replenishment process. So that's the X variable that we're changing. We changed the process. We want to remember, X and Y variable. So Y variables were inventory and service level, right? The X variable is the production planning process, or replenishing inventory replenishing process, which is this: the inventory replenish process for plant service level. Provide an Excel spreadsheet for that inventory and decisions at plant and service centers. Quantify the impact of that new spreadsheet tools, and create a manual tool to be so they are able to maintain and update and all that, right? So this is the rectification of this, which, it's it was very difficult to understand. So objective statement have to be clear and direct, and set exactly the expectations for everybody. To help us find out if the objective statement is actually clear and good and all that, there's an acronym called SMART. So we need to look if it's SMART. Okay, so SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time wise, right? So specific, exactly what kind of audience, exactly what are you going to try to do. Measurable means that, it's 10%, 10 days, 15. What exactly? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to get? Achievable means that it has to be possible, right? Realistic, in terms of the, expectations that you're going to set. So it's achievable and realistic, kind of very similar, but maybe it works better with the acronym. It's not SMART, right? And time, for us capstone projects, they're always 3 months period, because that's the part of the semester that we're going to work. But other projects, you have to set a timeline, say in 1 year, in 6 months, in 2 months, or something like that. So SMART, it's kind of way to validate. Okay, let's go back to our objective statement and see if the objective statement is SMART or if it's dumb. Okay.